We're going to look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on Hull there. But then that is a technical.
That is a technical. Dead ball, contact technical.
It's a little surprising to see so many of these happen in one game because...
Oh, and I don't like the way Lexie Hull...
The Indiana Fever headed to Minnesota to face the Lynx with 5 key players already out. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Chloe BBY, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald. Despite dealing with an injury herself, Odyssey Sims stepped onto the court to give the team a fighting chance. Then came the night's biggest blow, not from the opposing team, but from the officials. Lexie Hull took an elbow to the face from Kayla McBride, yet the foul was called on Hull. Caitlin Clark, watching from the sidelines, was visibly frustrated. How does this keep happening? The team is already battling a major injury crisis, and now it seems like questionable officiating is making their playoff push even harder. Do you think the refs are being unfair to the Fever? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.
Every time a game happens in the WNBA, somebody's getting abused, somebody getting beaten, somebody is getting hurt, man. Somebody is getting hurt every game in the WNBA, and they just fail to realize this, fail to have any protocols on stopping the nonsense.
Imagine walking into a game against one of the toughest teams in the league, with more than half your roster unavailable. That's not an exaggeration. That's exactly what the Indiana Fever faced. Caitlin Clark has been out for over a month with a groin injury. Sophie Cunningham is done for the season with an MCL tear. Chloe BBY is dealing with a knee issue. Sydney Colson is also out for the season with a torn ACL. And Ari McDonald is sidelined long-term with a right foot injury. That's 5 players gone. Odyssey Sims signed on a hardship contract, and essentially the backup to the backup of Caitlin Clark wasn't even close to 100%. But with the roster so depleted, she still forced herself onto the court. Just reading that list of injuries is exhausting. Now imagine trying to compete at the professional level with that many key pieces missing.
Indiana Fever's injury bug is getting into spooky territory. It seems like there's a new player every single day that's getting injured. Right now they have Caitlin Clark out, not sure if she will be returning this season. Sid Colson out with a season-ending ACL tear. Ari McDonald out with a season-ending fracture in her foot. Sophie Cunningham out with a season-ending MCL tear. And then just today, before the game, they announced that Chloe Bibby would be out with a knee injury, and basically they just said it's soreness and they're just playing it safe.
His wave of injuries didn't just take away superstar talent. It shattered the structure of Indiana's entire rotation. Their guard and wing depth disappeared almost overnight, forcing players like Lexie Hull and Kelsey Mitchell to shoulder an overwhelming load. Just 2 nights ago, also against Minnesota, Hull was pushed to play a career-high 37 minutes and scored 23 points, not as a luxury but out of pure necessity. There was simply no one else to take on the role. When you're asking players to give more than they ever have, every single possession feels like climbing a mountain. Make no mistake, Hull is fully capable of delivering big performances. But when every starter has to log heavy minutes night after night because there's no one left, that's a massive burden to carry.
Lexie, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and then the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. When did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
Teams' patchwork solutions have come in the form of hardship contracts, last-minute signings brought in just to keep the Fever afloat. Some players barely had time to unpack before being thrown into the rotation. Odyssey Sims, already dealing with injuries, was somehow expected to lead and stabilize the team. Aerial Powers was another late addition, immediately given major minutes without the chance to build any real chemistry. All 3 were thrown into crucial roles with no time to prepare, no rhythm, and no established connection with the rest of the squad. And yet, they were expected to perform under pressure from day one. It's hard to overstate how damaging that is to team cohesion. You end up with a group trying to build chemistry on the fly, while opponents take full advantage of every misstep and mismatch.
3 players in the last I don't know how many days, and 2 of those players are point guards, so not really. But you know, at the same time, our ability to make plays out of what we have, right? I think a lot of our spacing allows players to do what they do best, creates opportunities for them to be successful, and then it's just making the right reads and finding the right pass, you know, on time, on target. And some of that is with experience with your teammates, and some of that is instinct. And so we are trying to do as much as we can to put players in position to use those instincts.
Even head coach Stephanie White admitted that the level of physicality Indiana faced was more than their shorthanded roster could handle. And calling it different is putting it lightly. Every drive and ever could handle. And calling it different is putting it lightly. Every drive and every defensive stand demanded maximum effort from a team with barely enough depth to survive. Still, Kelsey Mitchell gave everything she had to keep the fever in the fight. She dropped 26 points, battled through double teams and intense defensive pressure, and had moments where it looked like she might carry the team on her own. That's a superstar-level performance. But when your offensive rhythm is pieced together with emergency signings and last-minute replacements, there's only so far one player can take you.
They're going to end the season with a completely different team than what they started the season with. And even the players that they're bringing in on hardship or that they're signing midway through the season, they're now going down with injuries. The season from hell would be an understatement on this team right now.
This loss wasn't about a lack of effort. It was about survival. The Fever fought with grit through a nightmare scenario, refusing to give in despite being outmatched at every position. But as tough as the injury situation was, it wasn't the most damaging part of the night. The officiating made sure of that.
Checking her jaw. See that one again. Kayla McBride goes up, grabs the board, and she wants to get free because Hull has her kind of wrapped, and boy, that's a hard swing. They're going to review it.
What happens when even the referees become part of the problem? That's the reality Indiana had to face. Lexie Hull, already pushed to her limits playing heavy minutes, was grinding on defense when Kayla McBride swung through. Instead of a routine play, Hull took a sharp elbow directly to the face. She went down hard, clutching her face, and to anyone watching, the call seemed obvious. This was clear flagrant contact, but instead of penalizing McBride, the officials somehow called the foul on Hull, the very player who took the hit. It was as if she was being punished for getting elbowed.
Right there. Oh my goodness. Boom. Right in the face, man. Right in the face. Now, like I stated, I get it. You might be mad that Lexie put her hand on your forehead. But fam, there is no reason for you to be throwing elbows to somebody's face like that. Come on, man. Throwing elbows to the...
Fans and analysts alike expected a review to clear things up, but the replay only made things worse. After watching the slow-motion footage, the officials slightly upgraded the foul but still stopped short of holding McBride fully responsible. It was as if they admitted something happened, but refused to assign accountability where it clearly belonged. Hull took visible contact to the face, went down in obvious pain, and somehow, Indiana was the team penalized.
Kayla McBride, 13 points for Kayla McBride. Hit Lexie Hull with an elbow. Foul on Lexie Hull. Hits Lexie Hull with an elbow, foul on Lexie Hull. I don't understand.
Across social media, Fever fans erupted in frustration. Was this just a one-time mistake? Or is it becoming a pattern? Because time and again, when a Fever player takes a hard hit, whether it's a shove, a body blow, or, in this case, an elbow, the calls rarely go in their favor. It's creating a growing perception that the league is turning a blind eye, allowing teams to crank up the physicality, as long as Indiana is the one taking the hits. And with players already dropping like flies due to injuries, the frustration only grows. When you're already down half your roster, the last thing you can afford is the officials making it worse.
This was intentional. Now, if it wasn't intentional, okay, give it a flagrant one. I understand it. She wasn't trying to do it. Cool. But this was intentional. All right? She had malice on the heart with this one. Bad intentions. Okay? She was trying to wreck some stuff up there doing this one. Hey, let's just keep it a grand, man. Let's just keep it a grand. Kayla McBride was trying to knock Lexie right on her booty cheeks, but she succeeded at, fam. Knocked her clean out.
Minnesota leaned into physical play all night. That style isn't illegal by itself, to their advantage. But the problem came when Indiana's efforts to fight back weren't getting the same calls. Coach Stephanie White even hinted that the game was being officiated differently, subtly pointing out that her team wasn't being treated equally compared to their opponent. Anyone watching could see it. Drives by Fever guards were often ignored, while even the slightest contact against Minnesota players drew an immediate whistle. With every inconsistent call, frustration grew louder from both fans and players alike. This felt intentional. And if it wasn't intentional, then fine, call it a flagrant oversight. I get it, mistakes happen. But either way, it was clear the Fever weren't getting a fair shake.
Indiana started this game 9 of 13, but has missed 4 straight until